And will you guys be filming our puck drops since we have a ceremonial?
Yeah. You want me to get talking about
involved. There were a lot of positives that happened last night. It was the first time, we gave up less than 22 shots, so 21 shots on goal. So I thought defensively we were good. We just couldn't find the back of the net, and a little bit of it was the style of goaltending we were playing against, very aggressive. And we just didn't get to the hard spots of the ice. And to win games with good goaltending and good defensemen, you got to get to the hard spots. And, we're changing our forecheck tonight. Look for us to be a heck of a lot more physical, give their D a little less space, and come right at them right away. So, last night you were there. we were a little bit passive at times to give them space. We did have a lot of high-end puck possession. I thought um, number of minutes in our zone versus their zone was lopsided to our side. They just happened to put 4 on the board, and you know as well as I do, analytics don't win games. They just let you talk about it.
Absolutely. Coach, we did some things today. We had some team meetings and some things to try and get some guys going a little bit. How do you think that will affect everybody?
Well, I think first of all, I think it'll affect 25-67 and Marty 5. We sat them aside and said, hey, you're a lot of our lifeblood. When things are tough, we're going to lean on you, and today we're going to lean on you. I don't know that things are tough or we're at dire straits, but we got shot out at home last night, didn't take a penalty, so we can't really talk about it and say we shouldn't have took this or the game got out of hand from us. We lost 4-0. So we're moving Jay to the middle of the ice in between Lund and who do we have with him? His brother, 2-4. So looking to get a little bit of different spice. We'll start those guys and have a good one here against Villanova to close the weekend out and head into the Christmas break.
So, mentioning the Christmas break, Coach, we want to thank everybody for tuning in this first semester. It's been some highs, it's been some lows. I'm going to give a grade of a B.
Yeah, I'd say so.
A B, I think, is fair because we're still on top of the CHMA where we want to be at
Yep.
6-1. We just need to get more consistent against some of the top opponents we're going to see down the road. The second half is going to be a grinder. We come out of the gate with 2 big road trips, and then we get right back to defending our title with CHMA. So, thanks again for everybody watching. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll see you guys soon.
Hey, before we go, we got to talk about the opening face-off tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So tonight we're going to make our annual contribution to the Western Pennsylvania Veterans Relief Fund. So this is our 5th year running, and tonight I don't know the final total because it'll go to the start of the game. Tonight we'll have a ceremonial face-off to announce our donation, and I do know this over the past 5 years, based on this current fundraising effort. We've donated as an IUP Hockey Division I Ice Hockey program. We've donated over $12,000 to the Pennsylvania Veterans Relief Fund, and that's pretty spectacular. That says a lot for the guys that are on the team and the people behind the scenes that organize that. So thank you for everyone that voted and over this year and past years to donate that dollar to vote for the best looking mustache, and we're hoping to get Coach Hanzo in it next year. All right, thank you, boys. Bye.
so funny. on to after the ceremonial puck drop to start things off here from S&T Bank Arena in Indiana, PA. A matinee game on tap between the Villanova Wildcats and the IUP Crimson Hawks. The second match this weekend and the last of the calendar year for the Crimson Hawks season in 2024. So certainly a lot riding on this game. And after last night, obviously the Hawks have a lot to prove.
Yeah, like you said, this Crimson Hawks offense was certainly put to sleep last night as the Villanova Wildcats held them to a 4-0 lead and win. And certainly, right off the bat here, we see Hunter Fairman back from a suspension in his first game back from the suspension, looking to apply that offensive pressure early and reverse the scoreboard as it was yesterday.
Sent into the middle, intercepted, but Fairman makes his presence known outside the face-off dot, and they retain possession in the offensive end. Bouncing puck finds its way out, and a sigh of relief for the starting netminder of the Wildcats, Lou Larada, a different man in between the pipes. A huge reverse hit there in front of the Wildcats bench. The starting lineup already off for the Crimson Hawks. But of course, the starters Soy and Sinicki on the defensive pairing, and then the starting forwards still out there for their shift, Maddox, Rear, London, and Hunter Fairman. Interception at the blue line by Caleb Hoffman. He had a strong performance in last night's outing. He gets a quick pass off to Miller and turned over through the neutral zone. The puck goes and back around for Ziemba to control. Tie up behind the net, and they come away with possession. Getting into this one, Sargent throwing one on net into the corner. Kept in, and the bouncing puck fought for. It's going to be coming away with it is Naraki. And his shot, or pass, was snuffed out. In the neutral zone, the Crimson Hawks will progress. You can see as soon as they get around the blue line in the neutral zone, they are playing a really physical game early on.
Yeah, just like that. We talked about it a lot pregame, but we saw Caleb Hoffman showing a lot of effort last night on that fourth line. You saw that he got bumped up in this first line of forwards with Shane Miller and Matthew Loza. Also, two more forwards that are very aggressive on their forecheck and very aggressive on the offensive pressure. So they're looking to see if that combination of three are going to be able to put some points on the board.
Reddy taking that into the zone, sending it to the far corner. It was Soy that got to it first and directed it back around the net and up. He'll control it behind the net. Now, along the wings, Malloy trying to get something started. Doesn't see anything going forward. That vertical movement is exactly what the Crimson Hawks game plan was centered around in yesterday's game. We'll see if they have a different approach and try to spread it out horizontally, but they forced a couple turnovers already in the offensive end. An example there, still making it into the IUP zone. 2.5 minutes into this first period, no shots for either team. Certainly a little bit of pressure, though, for both offenses, as we'll get an offensive zone draw. The Nova Wildcats, and it looks like it will be to the left of starting netminder Connor Halpert.
Yeah, and just like you said, it is Connor Halpert that is in the net for the Crimson Hawks. His third game of the season, 1-1 record, sitting right around the 900s in save percentage. And, of course, he looks to hold his guys strong here and back them so that they can, of course, apply that offensive pressure. It's been the story last night, and it's going to be the story here tonight as well.
Tight coverage in the zone. It's Adams taking it up. He took a cross check to the face, but dumped it for the line change and a contact in the corner. That was Jacob Gray getting in on the action. Only a lot more power behind these hits. The Crimson Hawks look like they're coming out playing PO hockey. They are certainly mad after the performance last night. Now chipping it in, Miola. He'll chase it. And Tomzak in the corner couldn't control it. Miola comes away with possession, directs it back. It will be Fairman, though, back to the blue line. As he was the starting defenseman with Soy. Or Sinicki, I should say. So, yeah, the top defensive pair out there trying to defend against the Wildcats' wing rush. They didn't have too much success scoring off the rush. A lot more success in the setups and really surprise shots early in the game last night. They try to set up here. Some extended zone time, but they haven't had a good look at the net yet, thanks to the Hawks keeping the play to the outside. Tom Lynch at the blue line finds his key pair. Zanicki lays the hit on Lynch in the neutral zone. Certainly that metric on IUP's side. Cutting in for the shot and missing was Sargent. Brandon Sargent wearing those pink laces, very identifiable, the right-hand defenseman. He had a few good shots last night. Of course, it was his point shot that opened up the scoring initially. Now a line change for the Crimson Hawks as the puck cleared all the way back down.
Yeah, and we've seen some significant movement within the lineups so far for the Hawks, but some even bigger ones tonight. As of course we saw Jace Rurick, top forward, drop down into the line with his brother, play on that second line, and we see Jacob Gray, who's out a couple shifts ago, but he's out now centering that fourth line as well. Very gritty and full of effort line, I should say, but just like that, a lot of offensive pressure that I'm trying to push back down to the other side of the ice.
With guys like Gray coming into the lineup tonight, and definitely think that physicality is on the top of the Crimson Hawks' minds. And, well, no forward does it better than Trent London. That time he got a shot off and it found the glove of Larada for the save and first stoppage of this first period.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of physicality early here in this first 5 minutes or so, especially Trent London, Jacob Gray, the two most recent names we've been discussing are two guys that certainly know how to lay a hit and use the body to their advantage.
Shot from Ziemba was controlled, or the rebound was controlled, directed to the side. But a dangerous opportunity for the Crimson Hawks. Shane Miller, of course, in the area, causing problems in front of the crease as well. And there he lays a reverse hit inside his own blue line. Cleared all the way back into the IUP end. Delayed offsides. Lays Nova from attacking. They get a piece of it in the neutral zone and delay the progress up ice. Shane Miller trying to lean into his man and still retains possession. He almost got it to Loza, who's coming in for backup support. Got a little bit too close, couldn't handle the puck. Sela trying to poke at that one inside the red line. It'll be Miller coming away with possession. He'll dump it down for a line change. Certainly, I'm sure both sides will definitely take that outcome rather than how that line has been producing in the offensive end, just creating chances as long as they get possession down there.
And speaking of production, this third line last night, although the whole team was held scoreless, but this third line in Chase Malloy, Spencer Johnson, and Jordan Adams doing a very great job of creating high percentage shots down low that are going to be tough for the goaltender to move laterally, and of course they're looking to do the same here on this shift.
Adams finds Malloy on the left wing, or right wing feed, I should say. Malloy looking into the middle, couldn't find anybody, but Johnston picks up the scraps, gets it to Soy, fakes the shot, takes it, deflects on the way off a Wildcat in front, and directed out of the zone. Soy back to Sela. He looks up ice, finds Malloy off the boards into a Wildcat stick. Poking for it was Lynch, and he'll have to come back and collect it, facing pressure. Quick pass off the wall, and it's able to find Hard. And gets it back to Lynch. Adams strips him and sends it the rest of the way down the ice, completing the line change. So a couple of gritty shifts for the Crimson Hawks, but not to record too many shots outside of those last two rushes we saw prior to the line coming on. 2-0 in the shot department as Miola stripped it and couldn't get it to Wild, who's been chasing down that puck. Richie Wild, and also with a impressive two-way performance. Did really well to win a lot of 50-50 battles in last night's outing as he gloves that one forward to keep it out of the zone. Back skating, scanning his options and sending it down is Vogel. He'll be around for an incoming Norecki. Norecki is hit by Sinicki behind the net, and the puck turned over. Miola will shoot it in from the red line. He'll chase it with 11 and a half to go in the first period. Now into the offensive end. Naraki looks to the net, had his initial pass blocked, and Fidecaro instead with possession. Give it back to their leader on offense, Charlie Davis, takes the shot. Well, he actually gets back to this rebound, takes it now, and Halpert saw him all the way.
Charlie Davis, of course, taking the lead on that last offensive push. 3 goals for him last night, and he currently sits as the top scorer for Villanova at 18 points in just 14 short games so far, but he's certainly taking the offense by the helm, at the helm, and being the leader that this team obviously looks for.
Very impressive season for him, as he'll try to continue it after a successful night last night. London back into his zone, gets his options, faces pressure, and did a good job at creating some ruckus, but they still got the pass off, and the shot by Maddox Rarick snared this time.
It's funny, Alex, watching, these 2 Rarick brothers play together, because we rarely get to see them on the ice at the same time, and it's funny now seeing them play almost the exact same way, targeting the same shots on the same spots on the net, I should say. Movement, they look the same. They're in the right spots at the right time, and of course, you can say hockey runs in their blood.
Yeah, of course. Both of them are. Each threats on the ice. The only thing better than one of them is 2. And like you said, they perfectly complement each other's play styles. Now we get a look at this line out there, which is Loza, Miller, and Hoffman. Again, I really like the potential that this line has to break out, because all 3 of them can be awesome offensive minds.
Yeah, very gritty, very quick players at that, and all 3 show a lot of effort, and
Loza showing it off there.
There it is, a lot of effort and a lot of skill at scoring as well.
Now Donovan with a nice poke check to keep that along the boards and clear it up the ice. Gets it through the neutral zone and down to the Nova end. Nice play by Loza. Forecheck, and he controls possession behind. Gets it to Hoffman, who rushes the net. And no dice on the shot. It just went wide of the post. Scrum on the near side, getting it Sela, but outside of the zone. It'll be Soy on the far side who will dump it down. A successful shift, creating a ton of activity in the offensive end, but unable to connect more than one shot. Sela directs one down. He's nailing that right arm, it looked like, after he made that play. I saw some stick contact, but he'll stay out there for this faceoff, as the cover will pause things.
We take a look over at the shot counter. Currently sits 3-1, and not really a familiar spot for the Crimson Hawks. They're known for putting a lot of pressure on opposing goaltending, and last night they were quiet as well in the shot department, as they usually are. But but tonight we're currently sitting 3-1, and of course they look to throw a few more shots on.
Hit on the blue line by Sela as he just leveled his man coming down the wing. And as Nick Wood certainly feeling that as he joins the scrum. Gets in there just in time for the puck to come out. Beautiful play by Johnston to poke that to Adams. And now it's back to Johnston. Spencer Johnston couldn't finish it, and the captain does. Zach Soy on the board after a beautiful play by the forwards. And he leads his group to the bench for the first time against the Wildcats this weekend.
That's just a perfect display of the hockey minds. Of course, they did not give up on the play. Of course, Zach Soy all the way down, waited for that rebounded shot, and cleaned up the trash, you could say. But of course, the score now advances to 1-0.
Just an awesome play in their own end by the Crimson Hawks to start that off. You see a ton of their odd man opportunities going the other way. And of course, those are ideal scoring opportunities, and the fact that you have a transition defense that can work that well to get that puck up ice that quickly, it's really hard for defenses to respond, especially when you got 3 guys crashing the crease. Well, Landgraf couldn't control it, and it'll be Gray taking it into the offensive end. A backhander, certainly a dangerous shot for a netminder, but able to cover it was Lorada. And he will hold on. Those backhanders are really hard to navigate, especially when they're bouncing like that.
Yeah, weird flipping puck. Of course, it looked like it took a deflection off of the defenseman's stick, and it's always confusing for a goaltender, not knowing where it's going to end up. But otherwise, we saw a defensive zone draw for the Villanova Wildcats, and they're looking to push back down the other direction.
And here the Indiana faithful showing up this matinee game, and showing their support as their team gets on the board first. Just over halfway through the first period, and they're looking for more. It's Hunter Fairman into the zone, takes contact and stays up. There's some PO hockey right there if you were looking for an example, as he was driving into the net but could not. And here we go, taking the hit out right outside the blue line. He is hyped to be back. We are certainly excited to watch it.
Yeah, we call him the Swiss Army knife, and certainly he's a crucial part to the offense and the defense of this team. We've seen him play both roles, but like I said, he's back from a suspension. And certainly is showing it here with some early hits, some early offensive zone time, and looks to just keep that narrative up.
Now an immediate whistle will stop things after a second elapses from the clock. 1 second down, it's a 1-0 game in the first period. Of course, the second game between these two teams, IUP looking to split the weekend with a strong performance tonight, and man, they have laid the physicality and speed in this first period. Rarick in the zone, takes a cross check, thought from behind, but it was a Crimson Hawk that touched it when the whistle occurred. We'll see what the official ruling is, but it looks like the Crimson Hawks, after going up 1-0 on the board, will get one extra man on the ice as well.
Yeah, and we also saw it last night, but it was a rare sighting that the Crimson Hawks play anybody and limit the penalties or draw penalties. Usually there's a lot of men in both boxes whenever the Crimson Hawks play hockey, but last night was only held to one penalty. But we already see one pretty early here in this game, and of course the Crimson Hawks will have one more guy.
And of course, this unit coming out there with a lot more confidence than they did in a low-scoring third period last night when they first saw the ice. So we'll see what this unit can do. Now Johnston on the doorstep with plenty of room. He finds Rarick, looks for the shot, takes it. It was blocked in front. Rebound still loose, and he swatted at it, but couldn't get back to it as it was blocked away in front. Ziemba DeLoza steps up for the shot. Didn't deflect on the way, but he was certainly looking for it, keeping that shot that low. And along the boards, they get it, and Villanova will clear it all the way down.
Yeah, it was the captain, Balzarati, that was leading that penalty kill, doing a great job at keeping their structure and keeping most of the shots on the outside for the Crimson Hawks. And of course, we see Matthew Loza behind his own net looking to reset and send it back down this way with just about a minute to go into this power play.
Like you said, half the time already ellipsed in this PPC power play, and an early entry on the near side will draw another whistle, this time in the neutral zone. I think it might have been London a little bit too trigger happy on the zone entry. So some strategy out of this face-off in the neutral zone. Malloy poking it free, and he'll direct it around for Adams to step up on the play. Also getting to it is Vogel. Comes out to Fairman, finds London, takes the shot down low, aiming 5-hole that time. Another stoppage, this time with 37 to go in the PPC power play.
And we saw it with that first power play unit, but they're running a 4 forwards and 1 defenseman look here on this power play with Maddox Rear taking that face-off, Chase Malloy, Trent London, Jordan Adams, and then, of course, the two-way guy, Hunter Fairman, playing in that point role.
And now he's going to have to defend as he steps up on his man. He's just going to take a breather and take some time off the clock with a dump in behind the net. Also putting up some action there, Davis on Adams. Let the Hawks control possession, and a nice move from London will give him a little bit more space to work with. That being said, only 10 seconds on the IUP PPC power play. They have to get something started, maybe get a look on before the man comes out of the box. Even strength hockey now. As it comes down to Malloy. Scans his options. And 5-on-5 hockey as they're in the offensive zone. Hunter Fairman steps up, takes the shot, deflects over top. I think it was blocked in front, and it goes over the post. Adams poking it free, intercepted, glove back down. It's Peretti trying to poke this free. Instead, coming in will be Davis. And he'll find his target moving up ice, and Vogel He stopped, turnover. Sela at the red line will just dump it all the way down. Smart play. And the Crimson Hawks power play unit will get off the ice. A successful line change. 5 minutes to go in the period. And an interception by Landgraf. He couldn't bury it. One-on-one in this low slot. But he's still out there. Braden Landgraf finds Wild behind the net. On the boards, hit for his for the efforts. The forward Nick Wood again, number 14. And there he lays a little bit of a hit, jars the puck loose just enough to get a successful clear down the ice, but it will be icing. And this tired Wildcats line going to stay out there for another shift.
We saw that, that one-on-one opportunity that Braden Landgraf certainly would want back all alone, and just from the small sample size that we've seen, the time, quick shot on there by, I think it was
a
Caleb Hoffman.
deflection.
Yeah, it looked like.
It came right off the draw. It deflected off the Wildcat right in front of the net.
Yeah.
A weird play off the faceoff. Got to be ready. And another quick shot off the draw. And the Crimson Hawks making it dangerous right off the opening faceoff on the offensive end. Nice play by Hoffman to step up on it. Thought it was going to be delayed offsides, but the puck never exited the zone. Now he brings it back in. Hoffman again going between the legs, but couldn't make his step around his man. Under 4 minutes to play in the first. It's a 1-0 hockey game.
A little deja vu from last night, huh? It seemed like Caleb Hoffman tried that same exact move on the same exact defenseman, and it was the same exact result. As he was able to get that puck through, but he took the hip check and jarred the puck loose.
I'll knock on wood, but of course, they always say third time's the charm. He's around the net, taking it is defenseman Tomzak. Looking forward, working one-on-one with Ziemba, and he has just shut down that right side of the ice, Kyle Ziemba, over the past 2 games. He has just assessed perfectly with the stick, and that goes for the whole defense in general. That is a huge reason why they've limited the Wildcats to just 2 shots in this first period. They've found ways to get in the lanes and really disrupt the offensive activity.
Yeah, I think that shot counter kind of tells a story of its own, because around this time last night it was pretty much all knotted up right around 6 or 7, both sides. Now obviously it's leaning more in IUP's favor, 9-2. So of course they're doing a great job of maintaining the offensive pressure and limiting the offensive pressure of the Villanova Wildcats.
Adams steps up. I thought he was going to look for the shot, but lost the puck. And Malloy pokes it down to the goal line, where it'll be Johnston finding the puck in the face-off, Todd, and ripping that one off. Again, another quick shot that Lorada had to be prepared for. Goes back to the face-off dot, and a win for the Crimson Hawks. Bounced right over Ziemba's stick as he was cutting in for a shot. Malloy does a good job, though, of keeping it in the zone. It stays behind the net. This way, Malloy sends it to Adams, able to find Johnston, and a one-touch pass intended for Adams was swallowed up. He was double covered in the offensive zone. And Donovan will just dump it all the way down, as the rest of the Crimson Hawks will go on a line change, except for Malloy. Of course, he's got to get something in there before he heads off the ice, and, well, the physical contact there almost drawing another turnover. Crimson Hawks' physicality from their forwards. Again, just a huge part of their game.
Yeah, we saw him throw a couple of huge hits last night, and certainly he wants to do a little bit more of the same. Chase Malloy, that is. He got 2 right at the end of his shift.
Fairman's last pass was deflected coming out of the zone, so instead he decided to go up the near wing with it. And it's still in the zone. Sinicki controlling, trying to push it up ice. The Wildcats doing a good job of keeping it in at the blue line, and behind the net playing with it now. McDevitt had it stripped, and Rearick will move up with the puck. Gets around his first man. Now Jace Rearick going for the wraparound attempt, and it rolled off his stick before he got back to the goal line. behind the net, playing with it, and coming out in front. Vogel's pass is incomplete as it hit off the skater in front hard. Backhander by London to clear it all the way back into the zone. Just over a minute to go in the first period. And turnover again, forced by the Hawks forecheckers. Viola gets it back to the point, or at least he tried to before taking that contact. But it was blocked, and the Wildcats will bring it up. High shot sent over top of Halpert. And a long stretch pass off the mark, intended for Wild, but he was stick tied up. 50 seconds left. Another draw this time to the left of Halpert.
Yeah, we've seen those stretch passes a lot. Last night it was certainly seemed like the sole game plan for the Crimson Hawks. It, of course, did not work for them how they intended. It feels a little bit like Story's flip tonight is trying to work more deep into the zone and get more high percentage shots.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the first goal that the Crimson Hawks scored. It was, it wasn't a huge vertical play up ice. It was a poke check, mostly horizontal to find Adams, and then physically bringing it up. They're winning the physicality game. They're winning a lot of the 50-50 battles. So, to me, that says, don't try passing it into the zone. Just bring it there, because so far Villanova hasn't had an answer for the Crimson Hawks' physicality.
I mean, it's exactly that. Both these teams coming in with a lot of energy after last night's mishap of a game for the Crimson Hawks. And another quick shot on there by Villanova Wildcats. Like I was saying, a lot of high energy shifts here from the Crimson Hawks and the Wildcats. And of course, it's just going to come down to which team is going to have more hustle.
Of course, things can flip in one period, but this first period has been pretty sound. I would say on both sides, too, the Wildcats have done a good job at snuffing out the Crimson Hawks' opportunities when they do get set up in the zone. Hence their only goal coming off the rush. Certainly both teams with things to ponder as we enter the final 15 of this period. Shot in front, and how did Halpert keep that puck out?
That was fantastic work from Connor Halpert. I'm still in awe of that save. It, of course, worked all the way across the crease to the other post. Somehow he got a piece of the puck on those white pads, kept it in front, and held the score where it's at.
And I really thought that my dialogue over the prior 30 seconds might have jinxed something against IUP, as they'll send one down. The delayed penalty is why the players aren't touching the puck, or at least the Wildcats at that. Lows it down after the faceoff, and he'll get up on his own accord. And I think that will be the source of the second Crimson Hawks PPC power play. So we'll get another look at the special teams units coming up in just 15 short minutes. are back, about to get set for the second period, but before that, of course, the ceremonial puck drop earlier we got to see is for this main event occurring now. So this is when they will officially announce the totals from the Movember Mustache Challenge and the total amount that will be donated to the Western PA Veterans Fund.
Presenting the Western PA Veterans Relief Fund with a donation of $1,820. With today's donation, the team has donated over $11,000 to the Western PA Veterans Relief Fund. This is the 6th year the team has participated in the November Mustache Challenge. And this week's winner, this year's winner, is number 7, Chase Malloy.
Well, there you have it. Over $1,800 raised in just about a month's time. Certainly impressive work by the Crimson Hawks Philanthropy, and of course, they are looking forward to future philanthropy events like the Teddy Bear Toss. But of course, that'll be news for later, next semester actually.
Yeah, definitely a great cause that this hockey team certainly loves to follow. 6th year participating in this Movember Mustache Challenge. Those might have been a little unable to hear, but the final count, $1,820 for the Western PA Veterans Relief Fund. The winner, number 7, Chase Malloy. I must say, he's got a pretty mean mustache, so it's well deserved. I think my vote was for Blake Sinicki. I think he had a pretty killer mustache, but of course, all of the donations are appreciated for.
Every player getting in there and really just doing what they can to contribute to the philanthropy of the organization.
Yeah, it was coming down to the wire. We had an intermission report of the count going in, and we heard that fellow friend Ty Burkett was sitting at $232, but right in the last second, it was Chase Malloy's grandpa with a $50 donation coming in clutch, taking the lead. So it was Chase Malloy that will win the Mustache Challenge this year, and first-year player Ty Burkett will, I guess, have to come back next season and get the win. But of course, we're getting right back into play here, and score currently still sits 1-0 in favor for the Crimson Hawks. Like you said, we're coming back with a man advantage in favor of the Crimson Hawks. 5-on-4, there's 2 minutes on the penalty clock. And we're going to get some early action here on the PBC power play.
It'll be Rierick, Miller, and Johnston out there forwarding for this power play unit. You saw London stepping up there on the play, and Ziemba rounding out the top 5 of the man advantage unit. Comes this way, Miller will take it, and just about a minute and 40 to go in the PPC power play. They'll get things started on their own end. Around the net, play coming to Rierick. He's looking at his options and tried to find Ziemba, but the short pass was blocked. Now into the zone, taking the shot was Rierick. That one careening wide into the boards. Alpert slowing the puck down as it enters the zone. It'll be Ziemba collecting it out halfway through the man up. Maddox Rierick into the zone with speed, gets it to Malloy, gets it back into the middle. The rebound unable to be handled, and somehow that puck stayed out as it was Jordan Adams poking for it, trying to finish it.
Yeah, it's great work in there by Lou Larada. Netminder, of course, for the Villanova Wildcats. A lot of shots, a lot of sticks, a lot of bodies in front. Of course, some tough angles, tough vision, but stayed all the way through and was able to stop that last push from the Crimson Hawks. There's currently 45 seconds to go on this man advantage for the Crimson Hawks, and they're going to look to break out and apply a little bit more pressure.
An unfortunate whistle for the Crimson Hawks there at the blue line. Really 50-50 if that was offsides or not, but Adams touched it, the whistle, and that face-off really slowing down the momentum. So, Going up ice with a stretch pass by Fairman off the mark of the net, and London tried to center it for Rierick as they let it go all the way through. Now the puck all the way down into the IUP, and it'll be Halpert have to play it. Now Rierick stepping up with it. Maddox Rierick around the face-off circle, tried to find Adams in the slot, and London will poke it down to Malloy. Malloy scanning his options. Sauce pass finds its way to Fairman, gets back to Malloy. Down low, London back out in front, tried to find Maddox Rierick. Now Fairman from the point, he takes a shot. London tried to deflect it in front, but that shot and the whistle will do it for the PPC power play. The second one, 0 for 2, the Hawks are.
Not a bad power play for the Crimson Hawks. They're unable to score, but they're still able to apply some pressure onto this Wildcats defense, at least pretty early here in the second period, and they look to carry that through this period and throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, better answer by the Villanova defense after assessing what happened in the first period and what got past them. We'll see if play opens up more now that it's even strength. As he steps up on the play into the zone, his balls are already, and he is whistled down for offsides. Tumble after the play as well, but neutral zone draw.
Yeah, certainly the Wildcats expressing their opinion on the bench. They did not think they were offsides, but of course there's two sides to every call.
Soy unable to control that inside the zone, gets it to Sela. He'll come back to Soy, he'll direct one up the near wing. It's intercepted, his shot back, sent back down into the middle. And all the way through to safety. Sargent takes the shot, the rebound comes out, it's loose. And the net also loose. Here's a reoccurring theme.
Yeah, we definitely saw that issue a couple of times last night, as it was both goaltenders. It was Kapranov and Paremba for their respective squads that were both having issues with that net as well. Same thing here with Halpert, but we'll see defensive zone draw for the Crimson Hawks.
Of course, the visitors from southeastern Pennsylvania displeased with their drives being snuffed out by the net being off. Not much we can do about it. A shot off the draw, and a save will cue in a line change for IUP. Top line coming out there to defend on this draw. Loza from the face-off dot gets the win. It's around for Donovan. He'll direct one up in the near wing. Andy Loza sending one through the middle, trying to find Hoffman. He'll skate it into the net, and the snow afterward going to draw a crowd in the corner as he separates from the crease.
Yeah, certainly the Wildcats are going to defend their man between the pipes. A little bit of some late action, but otherwise Hoffman just showing off his hustle all the way down into the O-zone, but we'll see Shane Miller skate to the center dot here and center that group of forwards with Hoffman and Matthew Loza.
From the point, Ziemba's shot blocked in front. It was Hoffman. Had it go into his abdomen. Now he gets back to it. Poked it free as it was going into the zone. So perfectly timed contact. Keep them out of the zone. Hoffman still doing work down low. Forced the turnover and got it in on the net. And a huge hit up high afterward. That is going to definitely draw some Crimson Hawks over this time.
Certainly the tensions rising and even spilling over a little bit here in this second period of action, 16 to go. And Hoffman, of course, was on the other side of the cheap play, you could say, so he received a hit for that. Of course, the Wildcats defending their man as well.
Inside the blue line, kept alive, progressed back forward by the Wildcats trying to get it out. Very similar play to what we saw in the first with the Hawks trying to get out of their own zone on the far end of the ice. Hawks trying to set up offensively. Getting closer and closer to it, but the Wildcats in the passing lanes and playing very tight defense, not allowing too much to get started. Now sent into the middle, taking the shot and making the save was Halpert, but the rebound finished by, who else? Charlie Davis, just in the area, right place, right time, and fires that home into an empty net.
Well, like you said, Charlie Davis, 4th point of the weekend, 4th goal of the weekend as well. Like you said, Halpert made that initial save, but of course it was Davis on that back door to clean up the junk and net that one behind Halpert. And we'll advance the score 1-1 here with just about 16 to go. And we're all back knotted up at 1.
Deflected into the IUP end. Chasing it is defenseman Ostriker. Gets to the puck and directs it back out inside the point. The shot taken and sent into the safety netting. On Blister coming off the stick of Tom Lynch, alternate captain who's seen a lot of ice time playing that right defense pairing. So tied hockey game. 15:41 to go in the period. And Malloy finds Fairman on the short pass, gets it back to Malloy. Now the Hawks have to figure something else to get this up ice. They do, getting into the red line as far as Lynch, who will fire one into the zone from the red line. Now 15 to go in the period. Bounce back through, hits Lynch, will progress it forward again. Ostriker with a pass, trying to find the man coming in from the bench, Rapatoni. Instead, in the corner, the Hawks able to tie him up, force that puck loose. Finally, Johnston gets it out of the zone and finds the stick of Adams. Has a centering feed, but a great defensive play to get in the lane by Vogel. Shuts that play down. Crimson Hawks still on the offensive end. Fairman sends one wide of the net to the right side. Lapped in by, I think that was Sinicki stepping up for the play. The hand is up by the referee. It looks like it might be an IUP penalty. And as Fairman touches it, that will be confirmed. So now the Wildcats will get their first opportunity on the power play this weekend. It's coming at 14:33 to go, second period, the second game.
I would like to rewind it a little bit. We saw a great defensive showing from Michael Vogel, the defenseman for the Villanova Wildcats, as Jordan Adams streaking down that left side in the 2-on-1 opportunity, and we had Chase Malloy to his disposal on the right side, but he did a great job of throwing his body down on the ice. He knew that he was going to get beat speed-wise, threw his body down and blocked the pass to chew up that opportunity.
And it was yet another opportunity sparked by a neutral zone turnover forced by just very aggressive forechecking outside the IUP zone. Zone, scanning his options, taking the puck around is Tomzak. He finds the short option. And Captain Balzerati finds the winger on the near side. Back down to Balzerati. One touch pass back to Wood. Tie up on the near side, Wild doing good job, and eventually it was Soy that got a stick on it and deflected it out of play.
Showing off a little hand-eye coordination there. Of course, they'll take the stoppage in play and get a new penalty kill unit out in this PPC penalty kill. There's a minute 17 to go on this penalty. And the 4 that are sent out are Kyle Ziemba, Sean Donovan, Hunter Fairman, the two-way guy, and Matthew Loza.
Deflection like that and ensuing whistle can really take momentum out of the power play unit. Of course, the Hawks experienced it their power plays, but the Hawks able to clear it here, making the Wildcats feel it as well. Donovan with a nice play to stay with his man, and eventually the puck directed around and out of play for another whistle. A couple of folks locating the puck on the near side, and we have a lucky fan getting a souvenir before the trip back to Villanova. Of course, that's the away fan side, seeing their power play unit right in front of them. 54 seconds to go on that clock. Look out, Lynch's shot off the stanchion, a weird bounce into the middle. Loza couldn't handle the bouncing puck initially. Eventually it settled, missed 2 more sticks, but eventually does get cleared down. Nonetheless, over 30 seconds now, Wildcats have as they move up ice. Lynch hesitates into the zone, and Rierick got an interception, but he had it stripped before he could clear it down the ice. 20 seconds on the man advantage. Lynch steps up for the shot, and the direct redirection off the post. Davis looking for another one, and he was denied by the iron. Rierick taking the shot shorthanded. A follow-up chip as well was unsuccessful. And under 10 seconds remain on the Villanova power play.
What an opportunity that was back down this other direction. Of course, who was it? Charlie Davis with 4 points this weekend. As I mentioned, he was looking for 5. But of course, with the help of some post, Connor Halpert was able to keep that one out. And the score still stands as there's been a new timer on the penalty clock. Unsure what the call is, but 7 seconds to go in that initial penalty. So we'll see 5-on-3 for 7 seconds, and then 1 minute and 53 of yet again another PPC penalty kill for the Crimson Hawks. Currently the 3 out there: Jace Rierick, Hunter Fairman, and Zach Soy.
Face-off win by the Wildcats, so they get possession but don't keep the puck in the zone. So it will be back to 5-on-4 action. Not too long, just over or just under 150 to go. 5-on-4. As they get reset in the corner, Soy tried to fire one up ice and unsuccessful. The call, goaltender interference, I believe. The extra swipe afterwards. The referee's trying to make sure they can do their job and protect the man between the pipes. Well, into the zone, off the boot of Sela, and stayed to the outside. Soy sending a wrister off the glass. It will find its way all the way down the ice. Now the Crimson Hawks halfway through the PPC penalty kill. Taking it in transition, but unable to hold it, was Davis. He does get it back, and now with 3 men on him, he loses possession, and it's Miller into the offensive end. Takes the shot into the bottom right corner. Certainly adverse to a lot of the opportunities we've seen on the rush where the Crimson Hawks are aiming up high or to the left. That time, Miller taking it to the right. Had a man in front of him, too, so an effective screen, and the Rada saw it all the way.
Yeah, definitely guy that you want with the puck in that situation. Shane Miller, arguably one of the best forecheckers on this Crimson Hawks squad, and certainly disrupting any offensive push that, you know, the Wildcats are trying to push back down that way. Of course, he interrupted that pass, took it down all the way into the O-zone, and like you said, picked his spot bottom right underneath the glove of Lou Lorado, but of course he had something to say about that. There's still 30 seconds to go in this penalty kill for the Crimson Hawks.
Rocky there on the wing trying to get to the puck. Actually hit as well as Davis. And it's loose in the corner, and Donovan settling it down. Tried to kick it to Landgraf, and unsuccessful. Sent this way. Defensive partner, Vogel, sends it down to the goal line. Now the puck played with behind the net. Naraki has it. He'll backhand one up to Lynch. On Davis, up to Naraki. To Davis. Shot comes in, blocked in front, a mess of jerseys there, and finishing it is Davis. He gets on the board shortly after the power play expired. And just like that, a 2-1 hockey game bestowed upon the Crimson Hawks in the second period.
Just like that, Charlie Davis has been a man all weekend that is in the back of the minds of all of the Crimson Hawks and the coaching staff as well. Of course, there he is again, lots of traffic in front, difficult stop for Connor Halpert. Of course, he stopped the first couple initial shots, but there was just too much pressure and too much engagement from the Villanova offense. Of course, now the score is 2-1 in favor of the Villanova Wildcats.
Of course, since the beginning of the second period, Nova's been just absolutely lighting it up on the shot sheet as well. They are within 3 shots of tying the Crimson Hawks at 15-12. They have certainly picked up the pace in this second period. Now the Crimson Hawks trying to do the same as London sends it around, I believe for himself. Couldn't get to the puck. It'll be Rarick trying to settle it. And the puck still coming up ice. Rapatoni loves it down and sends it to the corner. Sinicki lays a hit on against the boards. And another hit for number 39 as well. Now it's Maddox Rarick with London and Fairman. A 3-on-1. And the pass wayward. Unsuccessful. And cleared out of the zone. A whistle, though, as the net came off its moorings. I'm surprised the referee still blew it dead as the play was coming out, but Hawks will certainly take an offensive zone draw if that's where it's supposed to take place.
Well, we saw Trent London exchanging some words with goaltender Lorada. He thought that might have been a little intentional to try and kill that momentum that, of course, the Crimson Hawks were pushing down. There was a 3-on-1 opportunity. But a mishandled pass off the stick of Trent London sort of disrupted that. Of course, an offensive zone faceoff for the Hawks.
Nice play by Hoffman to get on his man and direct that puck forward, but Nova still moving up into the offensive end. Nice pass was intercepted, and now the Crimson Hawks forcing the turnover will bounce one through, intended for Hoffman as he streaks into the zone. They play the body, not the puck, and now the Crimson Hawks control on the offensive end. Miller gets a man off him and gets the pass off to Loza. Nice persistence on that play, but unsuccessful in keeping it in the zone afterwards. Hoffman kept it out and now enters the zone, taking the shot. Miller in the corner will control. Loza with a backhander. And the pass by the Wildcats defense, intercepted by Soy in the neutral end. It'll be a line change for Villanova, so Soy will step on the gas and try to get some pressure on. Zach Soy playing against the boards, takes a hit, and Loza will put the brakes on, but lost the puck. Miller behind the net trying to forecheck as well, but able to splice through two forwards was Vogel as he moves it up ice. Naraki into the zone chasing the puck. Donovan tying up his man against the boards, but Naraki still comes away with the ball. With the puck, excuse me. Adams finds Miller in the neutral zone as he progresses forward. Trying to find a way around the defenseman. Instead, he was hit to the boards. Adams takes his pass. Puts it back as it was initially rejected. Once poked behind the net. And we'll continue to play with it there. Under 8 minutes to go in this period and some contact afterwards. It's Johnston and Davis in each other's face. Plenty of words to say. You're getting a live look at it right now as tempers starting to fly in the neutral zone.
I mentioned it earlier, but certainly tensions rising still. Tight game here, 2-1. Of course, the emotions are spilling over a little bit more, especially each time that a new unit comes out. There's Charlie Davis, of course, the top point scorer for the squad, and two for himself so far tonight and 3 yesterday. They're still exchanging words as they head to the penalty box.
And they've got a lot to say. I'm sure we'll see some of that spill over. Still 28 minutes to play in regulation, and now it looks like the personnel out there, it will be 4-on-4 hockey. 2-1 hockey game. 8 minutes to go in the second period. Face-off win, and Donovan controls in his own end.
Say the unit that was out there for the Hawks, of course, being the 2 forwards, Chase Malloy and Jordan Adams, and the defensemen, Kyle Ziamba and Sean Donovan, and certainly those forwards can work really well together. We saw them craft a lot of opportunities last night just on their lonesome, those two, but of course they're going to look to push it back down to the other side of the ice and do a little bit more of the same.
Donovan into the zone with some power, and it's going to be whistled back. See where the face-off will be, but of course he made his man spill out along the boards. Just another instance of momentum being killed as they go into the zone. We'll see what the second 4-on-4 lineup can do. Miola, Landgraf, Fairman, and Sinicki out there. And the face-off win goes in favor of the Wildcats. It's Reagan. Short pass. Gets it across. Tomzak will move it up ice. Now taking the shot and standing on it was Wood from inside the slot. Now Fairman looking up ice. Able to step around the first man, taking tons of contact and staying on his feet. Unable to continue to progress the puck down ice. IUP controls. Sinicki moves up ice. He'll chip it around, intended for Miola, who collects it behind the net, sends it out in front. Sinicki couldn't finish it. Now Fairman moves around the first man, still trying to create separation before he gets bogged down. And the clear will go all the way around. Now it's a foot race. Sinicki unable to get to it, lays the hit, forces his man off, and he'll put the puck up ice. Landgraf able to find Miola on the tip as he follows it into the zone, throws the hit on and jars the puck loose, but Naraki will control for them.
We see him heading off now, but Nate Miola and Braden Landgraf, the two forwards that were out on that kill. Wow, quick shot on net there by number 25, Jack Fitacaro. Hit the crossbar and up into the stands over here. Certainly Halpert getting some help from his iron. And as I was saying, Nathan Miola and Braden Landgraf, both two guys that certainly play through that idea that they may be small on the ice, but their heart a lot bigger. Of course, they play very physical and leave everything out on the ice whenever they are out there.
Well, now the ice surface a little bit more populated. 5-on-5 hockey as both teams respectively empty the penalty box. Off the board, deflects into the zone. Following this one around is Alzarati. Almost intercepted at the blue line by Rierick. Instead it was Soy, gets it to Sela, and he'll dump it to the opposite corner. Now up the near boards, getting his stick on it and actually avoiding too many men on the ice call was Rapatoni. Still progressing the offensive end, blocked in front, shot by Fidikara. Now Donovan, down below the goal line, gets it to Ziemba. And Ziemba looks forward, up for Rierick, trying to poke it ahead to himself, but it was kept in at the red line. And Villanova will send it the rest of the way. Delayed offsides, delays their entry into the zone. They get in there, got a stick on it. Now another poke. Danger for the Crimson Hawks defense. As London sees it, will just swat one up ice. It deflected off a Wildcat, so no icing. 2-1 game. The top line out there. Miller takes the shot and goes wide. Ziemba couldn't clean it up. It's bouncing out of the zone into the IUP end. Huge hit. Caleb Hoffman steps up on it.
Caleb Hoffman, another one of those guys that plays bigger than he is. Lays a huge open ice hit and looks to come back down in the offensive zone and do a little work down there as well.
Sent one on, intended for Loza to clean up that rebound. And the two forwards in the area couldn't get a stick on it. Definitely some eyes on the physicality as this one goes on. Huge hit to close out the shift by Caleb Hoffman. Loza behind the net with some contact as well. And contact in the neutral zone, preventing them from getting to the puck. Sinicki will control and blast one up to Adams. Man just got off the ice. And just like I said earlier, the Crimson Hawks avoided too many men, as did the Wildcats. Bouncing puck, settled down by Sinicki on the near side. IUP able to progress it up the right wing. And now in the neutral zone. Fairman with a backhander, gets it through the neutral zone. It'll be Jordan Adams getting possession, able to slice through two men, but didn't get to the puck afterwards. Bouncing puck. Leveled and brought down by Soy, directing it to Fairman. He enters the zone, takes a shot, rebound is loose, and finally, he will get on top of it. Ularada stepping up in this second period, having a good period at that.
And we saw that first initial shot from Hunter Fairman that was a little mishandled by Lorada, but it was Malloy that came in for the seconds. And of course, that was stopped as well, and he received a hit for those efforts. And of course, they look to apply a little bit more pressure and stay established.
Johnson's backhand pass into the slot was just off the mark, so they'll hustle into the zone. Wood stepping into the middle and then taken off with Balzerati. This time with a feed, goes out to the blue line. Blocked in front by Sela. Nick tie-up, Balzerati playing for that puck, as well as Wood. Wood trying to lay the body on Soy, but he's able to progress it forward for the Hawks. And Malloy chases it out of the zone after Adams clear. A whistle here will bring the puck back to the neutral zone for a face-off. I believe an exiting Wildcat triggered that offside call. So another stoppage. 2:19 to go, 2-1 game.
And we see this top line of forwards for the Villanova Wildcats and the fourth line of forwards for the Crimson Hawks. And certainly the plan there is to kill off any fresh legs that the Villanova Wildcats are trying to throw out onto the ice. And certainly Rich Wild, Miola, and Jacob Gray are the men to do that.
Yeah, some two-way players in that group. Certainly do well to assess in the defensive zone, and now they'll have to review things in the offensive end. We'll see if they stay out there for this, as there's some movement on the IUP bench. 2:03 to go in the period. Substitution indeed. Only Jacob Gray for Spencer Johnston, though. He was unsuccessful in the face-off attempt. Goes out of play. Crimson Hawks have another opportunity into the offensive end. Johnston against his opposite, Davis, in the face-off dot, and the Wildcats come away with possession again. Trying to get it up the middle of the ice. They bring it back to the wing. And now getting to it was Davis that got a piece of it on the near side. Just blast one down. Under 100 seconds to go, and turnover forced, but a bouncing puck. Marecki couldn't finish it. Wild follows it into the zone. Miola in the area as well. The bouncing puck settled at the point, sent back into the zone. Sent this way along the boards. .05 to go in the period. Wildcats finally able to get it through the neutral zone into Hawks territory. Donovan backhands one, back up to Fairman, and Hawks forwards getting set back up. Rierick sets up for the shot, and it deflects into the stanchion and out of play with 52 to go in the second period.
And we saw Hunter Fairman with that opportunity. At about the top of the circles, left that dump pass for Jace Rierick, and certainly had a good look onto the net, but of course the Nova defensemen were there to jar the shot loose and up into the rafters.
Sinicki directing one into the zone. Sent back into the middle, intended for London, who was streaking into the slot. But no dice there. Contact there at the blue line. It was Fairman and a Wildcat coming together. A Wildcat being Ostriker in the 20. Now the shot saved off the stick of Davian Peretti. And Peretti in the center of conflict in the corner after that shot.
There was some cheap play in the corner after, of course, after the whistle. As it was Jace Rierick in the middle, he took a stick up under his helmet. Of course, like we said, the emotions are high. looking, of course, to see what sort of penalties, if any, are dished out. I do believe there's going to be some. You see Rierick, Jace that is, take his spot into the penalty box.
And would it be a Fairman return if he's not assisting the penalty box group? Of course, he's going to be out there for scrums like that. And huge physical guy is certainly someone good to have on your team. So he's going to remain out there through this deviation of penalties.
Yeah, certainly a guy that brings a lot of energy. Like you said, first game back from the suspension, which also was for fighting. So he's definitely going to come back with a lot of energy, a lot of emotion. And certainly look to be as much of a key player that he typically is for this Crimson Hawks offense and defense. And it looks like the penalties have been awarded. And there's a man in the box for the Wildcats. And of course, like we said, Jace Rierick for the Crimson Hawks. As the men still on the ice, skating around, discussing with their opposition still. Like you said, 30 seconds to go into the period, so both these teams just kind of hoping to ride it out with nothing else happening, no other festivities before the second intermission.
Plenty of discussion still in front of specifically the Villanova bench. Nobody in front of the IUP bench, but all three officials in conversation with the head coach of Villanova. So that would be John Morse, making his opinion heard. No further ramifications against either team, and it looks like, no, they won't be coincidental. Will be 4-on-4. Now 28 seconds remaining in the period. Puck drop and win for the Wildcats. Rosa working his man along the far boards. Now stepping up for the play. Defenseman Vogel trying to make something happen with Balzerati. With 14 seconds, Crimson Hawks will be complacent, having that puck in their own end. Well, thought they were going to, but an attempted stretch pass to Miller contradicts that statement. And we'll have another draw in the defensive end after the icing.
You said 6.4 officially on the clock to go. Looks like we're just going to take this draw. And then both squads are going to head into the locker room and see what kind of game plan they can. Oh, apparently not. As the puck slid back to Connor Halpert and it was frozen, so we'll get another face-off. 4.4 seconds to go. Officially on the clock.
Surprised there wasn't a scrum after that quick opportunity. Of course, this second period's been Litton with them. And instead of touching the puck for another whistle before the end of the second period, Wood makes a smart play, doesn't touch it, won't enforce the high stick in the offensive end. That being said, 2 periods gone, and now 2 goals for the Wildcats adverse to the first period. Now 2 goals in the period, the only scoring of the second frame. We'll be back with the third, final frame of action. Let's see if the Crimson Hawks can close it, the Wildcats can widen the gap. Either way, see you back here in 15 minutes. are back. Third final frame of regulation. It's a 2-1 hockey game, and we start things off with both teams shorthanded for about 92 seconds. So a 2-1 game after the second period where 2 goals went in the direction of Villanova. IUP still nursing the first from the first period. They're looking to get a response here heading into the third final frame.
Yeah, like you said, a very competitive matchup here between the Villanova Wildcats. Crimson Hawks, of course, score 2-1. Both goals scored by the leading scorer, or leading point leader of this team, Charlie Davis. 2 tonight and 3 goals yesterday. So certainly having himself a pretty good weekend, you could say. Otherwise, like you said, we'll have a 4-on-4 hockey after that scrum that happened in the final counting minutes of that second period. And it's Jace Rearick in the box for the Crimson Hawks. As seems to be some sort of malfunction over there at the gate where the Zamboni enters the ice. I think they're figuring that out before we get right back into action.
Yeah, a little bit going there on the blue line as well.
Have some venue issues, you could say. Ice making sure that the Crimson Hawks side is up to standard too. Of course, it was the alternate captain, Trent London.
So, like we said earlier in this game, this is the final game of the calendar year for the Crimson Hawks, as they'll close this one out and return to action not until January 11th, where they take to the road and take on the University of Delaware in a 2-game series. That will be again in January of 2025. All right, trying to wrap up their 2024 campaign. And they need to get one back here in this third period. Goals not easy to come by. Only 4 in the game last night and only 3 so far tonight or today. As the quick shot off the turnover, unsuccessful. Taking the shot was Nick Wood. He's had plenty of action inside the slot.
A nice pad save by Connor Halpert there to stop the initial force of that shot. And then he corralled the rebound before any Wildcats could jump on it. Still a minute 15 to go in this penalty kill. And we're back to play.
Face-off win by IUP. It's going to be Hunter Fairman leaving it for Malloy. Fairman gets it back. Picking up ice, takes it right, and will progress forward, back across, now across the blue line. Hunter Fairman on the backhand. Scans his options. Sees Ziemba at the point, that's where he'll go. Kyle Ziemba takes the shot down low. Pad save to the corner. The netminder. Now Malloy sending another one in. It was blocked in front that time by Lynch as he makes another play to poke it back out front, but Ziemba on the doorstep nearly had an opportunity as Fairman sent that one down. Or Johnson, I should say.
We see a little bit of that early game plan for the rest of this 4-on-4 play as they were looking for those backdoor opportunities. Like you said, Spencer Johnson and Hunter Fairman doing a lot of the heavy lifting on that initial unit as they got a line change and a new 4 out.
Fidecaro in the offensive end, picking it up right wing, sending it back down low. Loza working on his man Naraki. And a whistle here as an injured Crimson Hawk inside the blue line will stop play. Looks like Hunter Fairman down.
Yeah, Hunter Fairman went for that powerful hitting that he has in his toolbox, and he may have hit the board a little too hard as he certainly seems to be in pain. Can only hope that he's all right.
As soon as the hit went down, we saw the doors open along that hallway. We'll see if takes that exit or returns to the bench. And this is huge news for the IUP blue line, who just got Fairman back after the suspension, and now it's still on the ice.
Yeah, like you said, first game back in quite a while because of the short break that this Crimson Hawks team saw as he gets up on his own there, which is always a good sign, and he's skating back to the bench, so I think he wants to continue playing.
Yeah, as he enters screen and exits to the bench, certainly fingers crossed by the men in white jerseys. 5-on-5 action we return to. Just about a minute and a half already played in this third period. Wrapped back into the IUP end, it'll be Soy controlling. And now he'll give it back to Sela. Behind the net, able to evade the turnover, and Rierick taking it up ice with speed. Tried to find Maddox Rierick on the near wing. Unsuccessful on that front, and it's still wrapped all the way back in. And move it up. Sargent doing work along that blue line to keep it alive, but IUP forcing the turnover. Good read by Sela. Now it's Chase Rierick into the offensive end, and London had it on and off his stick in an instant. Did not have any time to pull the trigger on a virtually open net. Now it's Reagan into the offensive end. Forehands one to some reinforcements. Never came. And London steps up, makes a physical play to give Donovan a little bit of space. But he's still going to have to fight to get it out. London will finish it, giving it to Johnston. Johnston fanned on the shot. And now the puck on the near boards. Poked along and controlled by Malloy. We'll bounce one back past the red line and into the zone. Tomzak controls. Deflection in front. Ryan McDevitt in the area. Now Ziemba comes in, breaking up the play. Adams gives it back to Donovan, who will wrap it around, sees Ziemba. And he'll go back to Donovan in front of the net. Send one up. Adams has to cycle back now. Into the zone, lost possession. Possession going both ways in this third period. Really neither have been able to really create any separation behind the play. Ziemba threw a huge hit. And now the whistle. The official calling a cross-check against Kyle Ziemba. And with his palms facing the air, he's going to take a seat.
Yeah, Kyle Ziemba pleading his case. I'm thinking that he was just finishing the check. Of course, thought it was a little late and of course illegal at that. So the cross check is the call. And yet again, we'll be on another PPC power play for the Crimson Hawks. 5-on-4 play, no stranger to that as well. The four out there currently being Braden Landgraf, Zachary Soy, Blake Sinicki, and Richard Wild.
2 minutes now to kill off for IUP. After the minor, I could understand if it was any other call, maybe interference, maybe, I don't know, but cross-check, I didn't see him extend the stick on the hit. That was his case as he was going to the box, but a moot point now. We're already over 20 seconds into the PPC penalty kill, where the Crimson Hawks keeping the play on the outside, and Wild steps up for it. Landgraf trying to finish it out of the zone and eventually finds its way out. Facing pressure, Reagan has to cycle back with the puck, and he will control inside his defensive end. 75 to go on the power play, and having to bring it back now is Charlie Davis in his own end. Halfway through the man advantage, Davis will leave it. And Reagan couldn't control it cleanly. Davis also wrapped up by Fairman joining the battle. Nice to see he's already out there on the penalty kill. And into the zone, Naraki. Couldn't settle the puck, but he's able to get it to Fidecaro and gets it out to the point. Vogel back to Fidecaro, back for Davis. Now the point man Vogel sends it this way. Lynch tried to cross ice one to Davis, but unsuccessful. Fairman makes a move, creating more and more separation. And he'll just dump it all the way down and calmly go off for a line change. Now 20 seconds to go in the PPC penalty kill, and it looks like it'll be a trip against Villanova.
Yeah, a little bit behind the play there. It was, of course, number 22 forward, Jonathan Naraki, tied up with the Crimson Hawks, and of course, tripping is the call. So we'll see 20 seconds here of 4-on-4 hockey. And after that, it'll be normal power play for the Crimson Hawks for about a minute 40, excuse me.
So a chance for the Crimson Hawks to get momentum back in their favor after 2 unanswered went on the board in the second period. Davis loses the puck on the move. Now on the near side, looks up ice. See Kyle Ziemba exits the box now as the Hawks enter the PPC power play. And like you said, now 90 seconds, they get into the zone. Ziemba trying to make something happen, and he stays with the puck. Gets it to Loza for the shot, and he unloads one into the mask of the netminder. Back there again, Lou Larada just facing a ton of shots over the last 2 periods, and he's been up to the challenge. Miller sending one through the slot. Johnston was the target, and unsuccessful, sent all the way down by the penalty killers.
Some very good opportunities on that last push from the Crimson Hawks in the O-zone. Of course, we saw that one-on-one opportunity with Matthew Loza. Certainly a guy that has pinpoint accuracy, especially that close. Of course, Lou Larada saw it all the way through, and then that backdoor look from Shane Miller. Just unable to connect with Spencer Johnson, and they look to push back up this way.
So it'll be 3 forwards joining the rush. Loza in on goal, and oh, he didn't have it. And the referee blows the whistle.
A little premature at that, as puck was still bouncing around. Of course, Spencer Johnson saw it as well, so he was, of course, getting his stick involved. Villanova Wildcats not fond of that action.
They've already had to come to the aid of the netminder a couple times in the second period. Those are the Hawks' aggressive play, and they continue to invoke it there. They couldn't connect, and they return to the face-off dot with 41 seconds on the PPC power play. Fairman down to Maddox Rarick on a hard pass. Now he gets it out to the right wing. Adams back out to Fairman. Thought about the shot and said gives it to London for the one-time score. A laser from the face-off dot, and Trent London ties it up at 2.
Just an electric goal from Trent London. We've seen those opportunities. Trent London taking those one-timers from that exact spot. Saw it plenty of times, but of course found the post on that one, bounced right in. And of course, like you said, a missile of a shot and a timely one at that as well. The score's now 2-2 with a little over 13 to go in this game. We'll give a little bit of momentum towards the Crimson Hawks bench, and they're going to look to apply a little bit more, see if they can extend it.
It was a very similar shot to what we saw him practicing in the skate before the game. And he was taking a lot from the left face-off dot. And there he connects off the post, just a perfectly placed puck. And again, the Crimson Hawks with that power play goal will tie it up at 2 apiece. And hits the stanchion again, another stoppage. And again, in a tied hockey game, 8 minutes into the third period. Now the Crimson Hawks with a sign of life. And they're able to stabilize the momentum. Fedekara, possession, gets it out to the point. Stepping up for it, Reagan trying to get a pass off to the near side, Davis, and was unsuccessful. It'll be Tomzik from the red line, dumping it forward for Davis. Tomzak again. Throws the reverse hit on Gray. And then he stays up, and Ziemba will control it behind the net. He was hassled by Araki, but IUP controls. Deflection off the boards into the offensive end. And just over 12 minutes now in the third period. B. Davis going up the wing, and Miller put a stop to that. Stepping up on the play, Hoffman sends one in, and the pad able to keep that one out. The second opportunity also blocked in front. Dangerous there for IUP's forward group.
And we saw that initial shot from Caleb Hoffman. I think the mindset there was to get a rebound, off the pads of Murata.
And a backhander sent wide that time by Shane Miller. And Murata couldn't find it with the glove. You can tell the Crimson Hawks really targeting that glove side. That was where that most recent goal came from, and on that most recent shift as well, it's been the target. Stoppage here as it deflects into the ceiling once more. Just over 11 minutes to play in the third period. 21-14 the shot totals are. So while the Wildcats got close in the shot department, the Crimson Hawks really turned it on in this third period.
Yeah, it certainly feels like Trent London, just in those last couple minutes, being the spark plug for this offense, is bringing a sort of different level of energy and aggression, especially on that offensive front.
Nice read by the defense to find their forward group. Maddox Rear got it to London, who couldn't control it across the blue line, and now Villanova goes the other way. On goal, McHugh sends one, and it'll be gloved down by Halpert. And we discussed the shot totals, but Halpert's a guy who has not been targeted that much over this past, so far in this period, and really near the end of the second either. He stays sharp and makes that save. Under 11 to go now. And from the corner, it comes out. Stick battle. It's Jace Rear coming away with possession. He'll laser one off the near boards, trying to find Maddox Rearick on the bank, but unsuccessful, and they move the other way. Shot taken, and a save by Halpert. Captain of this Villanova squad, Matt Alzarati, in the middle of the contact afterwards.
And of course, exchanging some kind words as sort of a high shot up near the neck of Halper. He had to stand up sort of to make that save. Once he saw it through, and I think he said it was Balzarati that made that cheap shot sort of towards the end after the save. And as always, it was Hunter Fairman exchanging some words, but otherwise play will prevail.
Yeah, it's been a chippy game throughout. We saw plenty of contact in the first period, and of course more penalties divvied out in the second. But very adverse to what we saw last night between these two teams, where it felt like both teams were just spending the whole time figuring each other out. Now, the route is on for both offenses. They both connected twice in this game. Still want one more now, the halfway point of the period. That's a flex out. And back into the IUP end. It's Donovan getting it to Adams. And he was contacted there. Plenty of movement in the corner. The puck stays there and right out into the slot for a prime opportunity. Unable to pull the trigger was the forward, Jack Fidecaro, set up perfectly. And he'll have another opportunity to go out there if the line stays out. Either way, it's icing. And it will be a change for the Wildcats.
And like you said, the Hawks certainly are going to be satisfied with getting that clear there, as there was a lot of energy and movement right in front of the crease in front of Halpert. So they're perfectly content with clearing that out of the zone and taking another draw.
Peretti into the faceoff dot. Listed on as a defenseman, but playing the center role on that faceoff. He's able to progress it forward as Johnston. Couldn't reach out for the puck. It was Reagan that intercepted it and put it back the other way. Now the Crimson Hawks back on their heels as the puck in on Halpert. Will hold on. He does not know where the puck is. He least not right now, and some commotion afterwards as a blue jersey, a little delayed in getting off the ice.
We saw some good work from the forward Malloy as he was behind the forward on that push. He did a good job of, tying up the puck and making sure Halbert had a clear look at it, and that he did. There's still some words being exchanged between benches, and the emotion's definitely high.
Miola gets one into the zone, pumps it deep, and Wild's going to follow, but they were unable to get to the puck. Intercepted, Balzerati takes it forward and sends one to the left of Halpert as it's padded away to safety. Soy with a backhander, sends it this way, trying to get it up the wing. And it'll be Sela dumping it back for Soy. He'll have to reconsider. Now up the right wing, finds Wild, gets it back to Sela, couldn't control it. Broken up, sent back for Soy. Now he'll send one off the wall. Perfect feed to find Miola, but he couldn't get one through the stick. And get it into the middle of the ice. So around the boards, Gray contacted, lost the puck. Miller throws the hit around and changes the play a little bit. Bouncing puck directed in. Finally, they will clear. Davis brings it up. Sinicki doing work on him. As he moves laterally, gets a shot on Halpert. Fairman cleans it up afterwards, but thought he had a little bit more space. Turnover from behind the net. Shot comes in. Lynch got the initial shot, and Halpert with two amazing saves to keep it out initially. But the third entry finds its way through. Too much traffic in front, and Halpert can't get back in position. It's another goal for Villanova.
Yeah, just a tough spot for Halpert. As like you said, is Fittacaro only a couple feet out in front. He had that initial shot right off of the pads of Halpert and seemingly was just right back onto his stick. And he attacked the other post and was not enough time for Halpert to slide across his crease. Like you said, the score's now 3-2, of course, in favor of the Wildcats.
And all three Wildcats goals coming off of just mayhem in front of the net and coming in, cleaning up the scraps. Of course, the Crimson Hawks scored that way as well. They could definitely use another one as they're hemmed in their own zone inside of 8 minutes to go in the third. Behind the net. Backhander directed onto the outside of the net. Miller chasing this one and ties up Lynch on the boards. Donovan looks forward and gets a piece of Hoffman into the zone. Miller cleans it up and will bring it in onside. Kept in at the blue line by a Wildcat, and Miller throwing the body around on him. And the extra cross check afterward is going to draw the call. Plenty of contact, and Miller's play style is, well, textbook on display right there.
Yeah, Shane Miller, definitely a guy that, can express his emotion on the ice without going overboard. So he did a great job of, instigating that penalty. Getting his man, of course, with that cheap hit. Looks like we're going to see a little 5-on-4 play here for the Crimson Hawks.
Soy in discussion with the referee. I don't know if he's pleading Miller's innocence. You see over there on the bench, Hanzo's holding up his whole hand. He wants 5 for the high cross check on Miller. Meanwhile, you can see there on the opposition bench, the guilty party, Walter Ostreicher. Number 20 sits 2 minutes. And it will be an IUP PPC power play. Another opportunity for the man advantage group. Let's see if they can convert now. As they already have one goal on the power play. Of course, that coming from the point man, Trent London. See, entering your screen right there, and he's going to chase this puck as it's cleared out of the zone. And London will control.
And like you said, the 5 that are out there, Trent London, of course. Hunter Fairman, your two-way guy, and Maddox Rear, Jordan Adams, and Chase Malloy. Like I said, Malloy and Jordan Adams both producing some high percentage looks.
And London with another clapper, and that time
Wow.
the blocker flying into position off of Lularada. And the net does come off, so it will stop play for another offensive zone draw. But London that close to clapping home another.
I mean, just a highlight reel save there for Lularada. Of course, he had to move across that crease so quickly, and he ended up on his back. Of course, like you said, the blocker save that sent that up and behind the net. A great stop by Lularada as the hand goes up quick on that faceoff.
And Chase Malloy, I think the guilty party of a trip previous to that shot up high. That is going to do it for PPC power play. Disappointing end for the Hawks special team opportunity. Well, let's see. There's a man going off for Villanova as well as Balzerati sits. Malloy escorted to the bench. This might be coincidental.
I'm not exactly sure what the initial call was that sparked that reaction from Chase Malloy.
Yeah, we both saw the official put his hand up at the red line. He saw something in the active face-off.
Yeah, almost immediately after that puck drop, the hand raised. Again, same situation. We see some of the captaincy for both squads pleading their case to the officials, and they're working out all of the details here to see how many minutes are going to go on the clock, the penalty clock, I should say, for each squad.
Malloy's penalty is up there as 2 minutes read on the Crimson Hawks side. Now, if nothing changes and no more penalties are added, Balzerati won't be able to partake in 4-on-4, but it looks like that might be the reality. 4-on-4 hockey as the teams get set. See, IUP only has 4 skaters out there as well.
And, of course, it's Dom Glavich and Joe Hanzo still getting the full explanation of the coaching staff, along with Gavin Cummings for this Crimson Hawks team. Still working out the details are the officials. And here we go. Here's the puck drop. Like I said, it's Trent London, Kyle Ziemba, Jordan Adams, and Sean Donovan out there for the Crimson Hawks.
Again, 4-on-4 hockey. They will have about 40 seconds of power play time once his man gets out of the box, but it's cleared all the way down by London. Adams trying to do work to get possession. He's still swatting for that puck at the face-off dot, kept in by London. He can just direct it back into the zone. Adams trying to force that puck loose, now behind the net, and unsuccessful. So he'll move up with it. Tomzak into the zone. Nice to look inside on Ziemba, but he shut that down. And Rocky with the tie up along the boards and turnover. London into the slot, and he took the shot. Right now is Liam Tomzak is struggling after blocking that shot from London. He goes off to the bench in some hesitation. We're inside the final 5.5 to go in the third. Moza directs it forward and brought up by Peretti. Sends it this way to Davis. Back to the middle, and it's intercepted by Jace Rarick. Stepping up on the play and taking the shot into the midsection of the netminder Lorada. 35 seconds the Hawks will have to kill off. And that's a nice start to the penalty kill.
Yeah, of course, Jace Rarick has that superstar ability. I'm going to fire that shot from where he did. Just a little bit misplaced. He was working in and out as he crossed the blue line, and like I said, took that missile of a shot from there.
Sent forward, Fairman sticks one down, and now he'll direct one back up the ice for a nice clear. 20 seconds to go. PPC penalty kill. Comes this way, taking it up, Lynch. And direct that one into the middle, and Loza tripped up on his way out of the zone. He was gunning for that puck. He wanted to call as well. Won't get it. But now, even strength hockey we return to with 4.5 minutes to go in the third period.
The packed house here tonight at S&T Bank, of course, sharing their opinions too, as that puck was tied up in the far corner.
Yeah, right in front of the fan section.
Yep.
We got plenty of opportunity to give their input. So it's Ziemba in his own end trying to direct one forward. Johnson got a piece of it as it went into the zone. And so a whistle, as we'll have an offensive zone faceoff for IUP after the cover from Larada.
And we are back fully to full strength now, I believe. Yep. It'll be that first line of forwards. Shane Miller, Caleb Hoffman, and Spencer Johnson centering that line.
Switch up the wings here, and the face-off win goes in favor of IUP. From the point, Ziemba sends a bouncing puck down, made it past the first layer, and body hit the ice. Of course, the blue jerseys wanted to call. They won't get it. Hoffman keeps it alive in the offensive end. Gets it to Ziemba for the high shot, aiming for the right corner, couldn't connect. Now Donovan takes one, it deflects on its way to the net. It was off of Johnston's stick that time. And still in the corner, away from harm's way. Miller trying to do work, but Balzerati gets through and gets to the puck. Now out of the zone, the clear goes, or out of play, the clear goes, instead of out of the zone. So another offensive faceoff for IUP. They will have a line change to mull things over and establish what's going to be happening after this draw.
And the Villanova Wildcats, of course, trying to scheme their plan to see how they can hold off this offense in the final 3.5 minutes, as they are simply relentless in this offensive zone.
Maddox Rierick chasing the puck, lets it go for Fairman, who steps up and makes the play to Rierick. Back out to Maddox Rierick at the point. Down low to Fairman, he had an empty net, didn't take the shot. Now Maddox Rierick down to Jace Rierick, sends one into the center, London taking the shot, and it's blocked in front. He has been shut down twice on beautiful scoring opportunities. That time it was a defenseman getting in the way of London's shot. Back across, Fairman cuts in, keeps possession, and tried for the wraparound, but the net came off. And the whistle will stop play.
Of course, Fairman looking for a call as well as he went behind the net. He was taken down by his skates. It was a stick.
You can tell that Villanova plays like that. They are going for the body instead of course, playing where the puck's going to go. Normally that style of play results in a ton of penalties, and not to say that they haven't been in the box tonight, but and on that last play, Hawks wanted to call, didn't get it, and with 2:40 to go in the third period, play on. Donovan gets it to Ziemba, controls the bouncing puck, and now sent into the middle to Loza by Hoffman. This line back out there, very short time on the bench. With 2.5 minutes to go in the period. And Ziemba looking up ice. Sends one high into the air, it's gloved down, and the bouncing puck directed forward by Hoffman. Getting on it is Reagan, and in the corner, Miller. Now with possession, gets it to Donovan, to Ziemba on the point. Back into the middle, Loza takes a bouncing shot inside. Nobody there, but Ziemba keeps it in at the blue line. Clutch play there by the defender as the forwards can stay set up, and the net again comes off as the Crimson Hawks are on the doorstep. A very similar situation that Villanova was in yesterday. Now the Hawks are feeling the brunt of it here. As another opportunity, and snuffed out by faulty equipment.
Like you said, to our avid listeners, you said last night, it seems like that net has a mind of its own, and it knows when to fall off its pegs right whenever the shooting team has the max amount of pressure in that shift, and certainly it was relayed there as multiple shots being thrown onto Lorado, but the net kills that energy.
Donovan on this side of the face-off dot, glove down in front, the rebound not controlled. Oh, a puck, dangerous puck ricocheting out of play. That had some serious speed on it, not a ton of altitude, so all eyes directed to the fan section.
Down there is all smiles, so that's a good sign for sure.
Gotta have your head on a swivel, even if you're watching. And ultimately, smiling face prevails with the puck. So somebody comes out of there with a souvenir as well. For the Crimson Hawks, though, they will take their timeout. And take another stoppage here. So over on the blue line, some discussion for the Crimson Hawks. And of course, the Wildcats in discussion as well. While both teams are setting up and getting ready to roll on the final minute and a half of this game, I'd like to again direct everyone's attention to the schedule moving forward for IUP, where they have a heck of a January in front of them when they resume play on the 11th. Tons of travel for them. They'll be going Delaware on that first weekend, the 11th and 12th. Then the following weekend, they'll be at Oswego State University, another significantly far drive away from Indiana. Finally, they'll return home near the end of the month to host Mercyhurst and head back on the road to face Duquesne. Finally, West Virginia coming here, and then that Saturday, the 1st of February, we back at RMU. The Crimson Hawks, busy schedule coming up for them, and they have to have their wits about them as they close out this game. I said, 1:30 to go in the period. And it's sent all the way back down with an empty net. No problem there. Just like last night, Wildcats able to bail out the team in the final 2-minute drill. That time it was Wood burying one home to get the empty netter and seal this one off. Plenty of contact in front of the bench afterwards as well.
Like we said, a lot of emotion during this entire game and spilling over here as the Hawks are starting to realize that this one might be out of reach now, a 2-goal deficit with 1:30 to go.
And it really comes down to the job in the face-off dot. It felt like Villanova got a lot of possession off of face-off wins, and of course the most recent goal, evidence of that as well. So it'll be Landgraf, Gray, and Hoffman out there. Hoffman's going to head over to the bench. And IUP assessed a 5-minute major. So they will be going through the remainder of this game on the PPC penalty kill.
Yeah, I believe Jace Rearick was the man that left the ice after that hit well after the whistle. So for that, of course, the rest of the squad is going to have to play with 4 men in the remaining minute 15 seconds.
Villanova back in their own end, just controlling play, controlling the puck for the remaining minute. Of course, they really settled down on the defensive zone turnovers, and their conservative approach in the final 90 seconds certainly not surprising. As they dump it down to get something going on offense, but Sela intercepts it, and he'll leave it for Gray. Jacob Gray saucing one up, but it was intercepted, and a quick shot gloved down by Halpert. Stayed in front of the shot on that. and cleared past the red line. 30 seconds to go. As now it's back. The defenseman, Lynch, getting it cross-iced is Hare and Tomzak. And Villanova will just, again, sit on this possession for the remainder of this one. So the Crimson Hawks got on the board first, and they were able to tie it in this third period, but ultimately, Villanova Wildcats just with more momentum and were able to cap it off with a quick goal near the midway point of the third period, and again, the empty netter just sealing it. So a 4-2 victory for Villanova. Certainly an impressive performance, and we got to see some good hockey this weekend.
Yeah, like you said, of course, the Villanova Wildcats are going to walk away with the weekend series sweep. They won last night, 4-0, taking this one 4-2 as well. With that, I think we're ready to go, and we'll be ready for some 2025 hockey. It's weird to hear 2025, but of course we'll be ready to go. We wish everybody Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and of course we'll be back.
Yes, we thank you for joining us on the IUP YouTube channel to be notified about future events, and anytime that we go live, anytime the Hawks hit the ice, you want to be notified. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. Again, you get notification every time the boys go out there, roll the Hawks. But until then, until January, I've been Alex Donaldson with Josh Yates for IUP Hockey. Thank you for watching.